Death of a Doctrine. Tenets of the Heathen. Cyrus, Scofield. I said, Polly, 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 Polly. I'm coming for you, boy. Coming for you. Because we about to put the light on them and make it hot in this joint for 1 second. Quick question, everybody. Now, y'all done heard me screech and preach about this dude Zeus for a hot dog minute. You've even heard me preach and screech even longer about how that's Paul's real God. Did anyone ever pick this up in the book of Acts? Acts chapter 14, verses 12. And they called Barnabas Jupiter, who was also Zeus, and Paul Mercurius, because he was the chief speaker. One moment. Then the priest Jupiter, which was brought before the city, brought oxen. Hold on. Do you hear that? Then the priest of Jupiter, which was before the city, brought oxen and garlands unto the gates, and would have done sacrifice with the people. Which then the apostles, Barnabas and Paul, heard of. Then they rent their clothes and ran in among the people, crying out, saying, Sirs, why do you do these things? We are also men of like passions with you, and preach unto you that ye should turn from these vanities unto the living God, which made heaven and earth and the sea and all things that are therein. One moment. This man said, we believe like you. So they believe in Zeus and Jupiter, like them. And they believe Zeus and Jupiter made the planet. Hold on. He's rolling with the dude right now who they just call Jupiter, yo. And not once does Barnabas deny it. Never. Nor did Paul deny being Mercury. Just something I wanted y'all to catch and hang on to while I get it in on this heathen Cyrus Scofield real good. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 3, verse 14 one time in the KJV, and then we're going to go into Septuagint. Now, the heathen said in my last stanza that chapter 3, verse 14, and I'm not going to go through chapter 14, 18, 19, 20 or whatever. We're going to leave that alone. But what we're going to do is this. If I get time, I'll go to that, so just give me a second to figure my mind out. But verse 14, chapter 3. And God said unto Moses, I am that I am. And he said, Thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, I am hath sent me unto you. One moment. Sounds straight enough. His name is I am that I am, for whatever reason. Now, in the Septuagint, don't be alarmed, anybody. And God spoke to Moses, saying, I am, in all capital letters, the being, Thebeing. And he said, Thus shall you say to the children of Israel, the being has sent me to you. Don't think there's no difference in that? If you don't worry. We're going to go and we're going to expose some other stuff in a second. You understand me? This is what I do. I love it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Hebrews chapter 8. Whoa, I lie. Not chapter 8. Subsection of chapter 8. Please pay attention to everything I say to you. I don't have time to break off into every little thing that is fake and made up. I need you, if this is not your first time listening, I hope not. I need you to tie into the things that you always hear me say and be presumptuous about how I feel about certain things as I say them. Does he really believe that coming out of his mouth? No, he doesn't believe that coming out of his mouth. He knows better. Or yes, he might believe along some of these lines. Or yes, he wholeheartedly is in tune with that. I hope by now you have that much understanding of this man, because this man has given you very much of who he is, whether you realize it or not. One moment. Subsection. I want y'all to listen to this fugduggery of words. Oh my goodness, it is good. The New Covenant summary. Point number 1. In quotations. Better than the Mosaic covenant. Not morally, but officiously. And this is noted in Hebrews 7 and 19, Romans 8, verses 3 and 4. Number 2, established on, once again in quotation, better promises, i.e. unconditional. In the Mosaic covenant, God said, if ye will. You hearing that? Exodus 19:5. In the new covenant, he says, I will. One moment. Now, before I tell you that that's Hebrews chapter 8, verses 10 and 12, let me go ahead and break into something for you real quick. The New Testament, or this new covenant, as opposed to the old covenant, and he's just trying to say that one is better than the other, which is totally upsetting and absurd. But do you hear how this man is trying to say that it's more efficient and more effective and more effective? How? How can it not be morally better, but it's more effective? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Just wanted to throw that out there. One moment. Under the Mosaic covenant, obedience sprang from fear. Under the new covenant, from a willing heart and mind. The new covenant secures the personal revelation of the Lord to every believer. 5, the complete oblivion of sins. 6, it rests upon an accomplished redemption. Wow. Saying that the Old Testament or the Old Covenant in the Old Testimony didn't have an accomplished redemption. Like it needed one to be a covenant. That doesn't even make sense. One moment, let me find out where I was at. Number 7, and secures the perpetuity, future, conversion, and blessing of Israel. Now, once again, another question is, why would Israel need to be blessed and converted if they're already blessed? Never mind. It says, see also kingdom, Old Testament. In 2 Samuel 7, 8 through 17. The new covenant is the 8th, thus speaking of resurrection and of eternal completeness. Now, once again, be presumptuous, y'all. Do y'all really think I believe in something that? Before I say something I shouldn't say, do you think I believe in what he just said? And any of that? Right. 1 through 8. These are all different covenants. These are one or two of them. I wasn't even aware that they were really covenants until he kind of brought it up. And I'm not even sure they're covenants. I'm going to have to look into it. The 8 covenant summary. Number 1, the Edenic covenant, which this is a lie here. The Edenic covenant doesn't take place from Genesis 1, 26, 28. It takes place in Genesis chapter 2. Whenever after he creates Eve. You know what I mean? And really, you could argue that right after he created Adam and charged him to take care of the garden and to protect it, that was that. But never mind. I won't even go there. Here we go, though. And one second. The Edenic covenant conditioned the life of man in innocency. Okay. Number 2, the Adamic covenant. Genesis 3, 14 through 19. Conditions of a fallen man and gives promise of a redeemer, which is not true. Which is not true. Which is not true. You never read about when Adam gets banished from the garden, chances of redemption. I never read nothing like that, but that's all right. Number 3, the Noahic covenant establishes the principle of human government. Once again, that's not true. Human governments were established long before the flood, so I'm not listening to none of that. Number 4, the Abrahamic covenant founds the nation of Israel, confirmed with specific additions, and the Adamic promise of the redemption. That's not true. The one he's speaking on now would be the true covenant that he's talking about. The Mosaic covenant condemns all men for that all have sinned. That's not what the Mosaic covenant is. That's fucking bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. Fuck this guy. And he's lucky he's dead. Number 6, the Palestinian covenant secures the final restoration and conversion of Israel. When the fuck do you guys ever read anything like that? Please tell me. Please tell me. Oh yes, we killed Cyrus Scofield real good on this one. I know we did. I know we did. The Davidic covenant establishes the perpetuity of the Davidic family. Listen, that's not a covenant. He just made a promise to David. You know what I'm saying? There was no covenant. It's just a promise that I'm not going to wipe out all of Israel and take them all from you. So I leave you with 2 tribes. 1 if you read certain books. 2 if you read other books. So I'm just saying, that's bull. And the Davidic kingdom over Israel and over the whole earth to be fulfilled in by Christ. Man. Number 8, the new covenant rests upon the sacrifice of Christ and secures the eternal blessedness under the Abrahamic covenant of all who believe. That's bullshit. That's that Gentiles are covered by faith nonsense. Right on? Y'all have to recognize, man, these dudes is evil. Some dudes is so evil, they don't even know they're evil. Let me tell you how evil they are while I sit here and smoke this marijuana. See, they're so evil. That they'll propagate doing the right thing, not having any idea or clue that they're doing the wrong thing. For example, you can't be in the military and tell me that you did anything right. I was in the military. You couldn't have done anything right in the military. You understand that? At least, the very least you was a straight up true warmongering person. Right on? At least. Because they can say they signed up for college or this, that, and the other. I know the true mentality. Those people signed up to shoot somebody. That's what they signed up for. Okay? And to get away with it. That's what they signed up for. So when you have people like this guy, Cyrus Scofield, preaching to the people, straight con man, people believe in him because he's supposed to be doing something right. You understand me? I'm sure he gave to many charities and did many things like that. And I'm sure if you asked certain people, he was a stand-up dude. I'm sure the Messiah says something like, bruh, you can't really think nothing of nobody because sinners do good by sinners. And the good do good by good. So who are you to say who's good or who's bad when people do good by you or going to do good by you? Thank you very much. Man, anyhow, I'm just sitting there scratching my head as to how many people, grown-ass people, ain't never investigated this dude. Not once. And this mother sucker's words are spewed in all kinds of seminary schools, all kinds of Catholic priest training, all that stuff. He's the dude. This is the guy. Do you not understand the implications of what I'm saying right now? That man, once again, through another man, has tainted billions. May he burn and rot in hell, and know that the doctrine of rapture and anything like it, and anything like Gentile inclusion, and anything like the sort that Israel does not have salvation is a freaking joke. Please wake up. Please wake up. I had the devil try to get my joy from me. He can't get my joy from me. Right on? You can't take witchcraft from a man who doesn't want the witchcraft and think you did something wrong to him. Though he might have felt slighted, he thanks his God. Thank your God when they slight you. Because like my brother says, not one shall help you. No, not one. And I see it all the time. And don't you ever get it confused or twisted or messed up or misconstrued or confused or none of that. Right. I wanted to say something else just then. That's why I had to double back my words. Don't you ever, please, please. The churlish are those people that you sit there and listen to every Sunday if you're going to church, or Saturday, or Wednesday, or whenever you go. And I dare you, any one of my listeners, to play any one of my anythings to any one of your pastors and see what they have to say about the scripture then. But go old school gumbo. Don't go new school. New school's watered down meat. Old school gumbo, they can get some of that meat tearing right into a pastor and giving it to him. Because I didn't care. I don't care now, but I just don't care to talk about him now. Anyhow, Cyrus Scofield, may you smell of decadence, and may the most vile chemicals and substances in Maya's universe subjugate your soul for eternity, man. Straight up. It's been nice.